Space, the final frontier. A frontier that cries out for order when chaos threatens the very fabric of existence.
The fabric of existence should realize that I was well within my rights on that restraining order.
So much for my Picard impression.
It wasn't that great.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Chaos D1. Well played, sir. From across the universe, men and women from all walks of life, all races, band together under one banner to provide justice to a universe filled with intergalactic powers that seem hell-bent on destroying each other. Who are they? They are the Xandarian Nova Corps, and they are here to serve. This is the story of one such member of the Corps, Richard Ryder of Earth. What, were you expecting the Green Lantern Corps? Wrong universe. Ain't no weakness to wood either. Welcome to Comic Showcase, I'm Steve Farrar, and today we're talking about Nova. Nova is the first Marvel hero to bear that name, as there was a second female Nova running around the Marvel Universe during the 1980s. She was a former girlfriend of the Human Torch, who later became a herald of the World Devourer Galactus. This comic isn't about her. This is his third #1 issue, so we're gonna find out third time really is the charm. But first, backstory. Created by Marv Wolfman and John Buscema during the height of the disco years in 1976, Nova originally was one of the lesser-known heroes of the Marvel Universe. He was a teenager who got cosmic powers, and like Darkhawk, became a member of the New Warriors in the 1990s. As a New Warrior, he got the team involved in a few space battles, and eventually left the team to continue on as a member of the Nova Corps. Throughout his history, Nova endured many hardships. He lost his powers when he asked to be relieved of duty as a Nova Centurion, only to regain them after being dropped off of a building by New Warrior founder Night Thrasher. Oh, we're gonna get to that. Trust me. For a long time, Ryder thought that the Nova Corps were all but destroyed until he got the memo to return to active duty when a former Nova Centurion named Garthan Saal took all of the Nova Force and wanted to take over the galaxy. Obvious joke is too obvious. Moving on. His powers included flight, superhuman strength, and gravimetric pulse generation. The original series lasted 25 issues, and while that may have been a poor run for some, the first issue is what people remember the most. And how did that first issue go? Well, I've asked Shay from a Comic Minute to fill everyone in. Take it away.
This is a Comic Minute. The man called Nova #1. Spaceship, right as a class. Picked on by jocks. I'm a punk. Spaceship again. Alien inside is dying. Hoping for successor. Rich is moping. Picked on again. Skabam! Dreams about alien. The high rank of Nova Prime is yours. In a coma. Wake up. Skabam! Something's going on. Real kids don't become heroes. Karam! I am Nova! Didn't Green Lantern have this backstory?
You're not Shay.
Am too.
Note to self. Screen these cameos. The third and most current Nova series started in 2007 and came hot off the heels of a cosmic event known as Annihilation, where insect-like beings from a universe known as the Negative Zone sought out to destroy the Marvel Universe. Normally the Fantastic Four would be the ones to deal with this threat. Instead, they and everyone else was engaged in their own civil war.
Go back to then.
When?
Now.
Now?
Now.
I can't.
Why?
We missed it.
When?
Just now.
With the death of the entire Nova Corps, again, the Xandarian supercomputer known as WorldMind downloaded itself and the power of the entire Nova Force into Ryder under protest since he didn't want to end up like Saal. The WorldMind reassured him and ended up making sure his sanity was in check. Wow, I bet this makes for some awkward conversations when he's out with the ladies.
Just what do you think you're doing, Dave?
This is an uneasy partnership, as we'll see in a minute. Right now, let's take a look at the cover of Nova #1. The cover almost looks like a painting, doesn't it? We have Nova brimming with cosmic power, standing in front of a new logo. To me, the cover conveys that Nova isn't the new warrior he used to be. He's obviously ready to take on any challenger. It really draws a reader in as people wonder, just who is this guy, and why is he staring into my soul? At first glance, this costume may seem a little too dark and has way too much stuff going on. That and the yellow helmet looks silly. Keep in mind that this is probably his best costume to date when you consider these options. Too 70s, but it works as a Nova Prime uniform. I like it. Too brown. Kind of retro. Nice modification of the original, though. Why does he need a mullet? Too yellow, and kind of dorky looking. Let's not speak of New Warriors reality show Nova, alright? Well, yes, I am nitpicking. I'm glad you asked. Page 1 starts us off with Nova asking Worldmind what the next mission is. He reminds the reader that he's the sole corpsman left, and the only one able to respond to a crisis on another planet. Flying to the surface, he wonders if the world is overrun by bug-like aliens left over from the Annihilation invasion. The natives are happy to see him, and wonder why only one Centurion answered the distress call. Nova explains that he is the only one left, and asks what the situation is. But before you can get an answer, we get a gigantic robot on a splash page. Whoa! Those things are vicious. Not the robot, the splash page. The worst part is that this robot is supposed to be the alien security measure, and it went a little crazy. So, these guys haven't got around to watching Terminator, have they? Skynet is watching everything. Worldmind starts to think that Ryder may be a little tense as he starts fighting the robot. Nova explains how the galaxy needs him to take care of the threat. Worldmind counters that he can't do it alone. Nova responds with, let me guess, rebuild the core? Sure, later, when there's time to do it properly. Frankly, I'll be glad to load off some of the Nova Force onto other shoulders. Now obviously isn't the time. Giant robot, talking computer inside your head, kind of stresses the body out, don't you think? Ouch! And makes you lose your concentration. Don't worry, Nova quickly counters with a gravimetric pulse aimed at the robot in the silo. Let's see how this turns out. Nova, stop sucking! Nova tells the alien leaders that everything's solved. They're all grateful, and someone asks if he's the only Nova left. Ryder solemnly explains that he is indeed the last of the Nova Corps. The Worldmind asks if he has a desire to go back to Earth. He says he gets homesick a little, and would like to go home, but there's just too much to do. Yeah, let's just add some more salt into that open wound, shall we? Reminding him that he's the last Nova is not going to help anyone. Onward, our hero goes to the next mission, and the Worldmind reminds Rich that he'll burn out if he keeps pushing himself this hard. If that happens, the computer may cease to function, and with it, all of the Nova Force. No pressure or anything, just try to keep it cool, Ryder. Speaking of succumbing to the pressure, Nova finds his next mission involves the same bugs he had to kill during Annihilation. The planet is overrun, and he does what he does best in his stressed frame of mind. Blow stuff up. He's a little tense right now. It almost kind of reminds me of something.
I will not sacrifice the Enterprise. We've made too many compromises already. Too many retreats. They invade our space, and we fall back. They assimilate entire worlds, and we fall back. Not again. The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther. I will make them pay for what they've done.
Were you seriously expecting Superboy Prime? I have standards. He's just playing the Orkin man. He's here to clean up the leftovers from some baddies. He's a soldier in a war. In war, you have to do things you aren't proud of. And... let me read this. Okay, let's review. Your ride is toast. I'm Nova. You're dead. Allow me to demonstrate. I actually think a little shore leave might be a good idea right about now. At least the Worldmind agrees with me. The next stop finds him at a spaceship that's adrift. All hands had apparently perished months ago. Nova, of course, does not take this very well. Richard, all they were asking for was my help. A little help. Worldmind explains how there has been a considerable backlog of work. He's only one man, after all. One man can't be the entire geek squad of the galaxy. He asks what his next mission is, and Worldmind continually tells our stressed hero that he needs to rest or risk burning out. Literally. Nova opens the Stargate and demands that the Worldmind takes him to the next mission. Instead, our crafty computer has another plan for him. Without warning, the man called Nova crashes into a moon. I apologize for this joke. That's one giant crash for mankind. Sorry. Rich worries that the crash destroyed the computer, and eventually he gets it running again. Finally, he agrees that it may be time to rest and go back to Earth. Speaking of Earth, the planet at this time had Iron Man in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D., the planet's top law enforcement division. And well, they soon detect something landing on the planet. The agents pick up a power signature that's off the scale, and we see Iron Man ready to take on the perceived threat. To sum up, this is a great reintroduction to the character. We've seen him grow in the Annihilation War into a powerhouse, and while most of his new warrior buddies are noticeably absent, I can still see the strong and compassionate character he was back then. He's still the same basic guy. He's just grown into a man who's ready to take responsibility in a universe that cries out for heroes. IGN.com even listed him as the 98th greatest comic character of all time, as he's a blend of what makes Spider-Man and the Green Lantern memorable heroes. He grew as a character because he had to. The galaxy was in ruins, and Ryder finally embraced his destiny as a hero after being a new warrior for so many years. He was a soldier in a war, and at the time, Ryder was the last Nova to help save the galaxy. You can't really fault him for being very frustrated. This shows a very human side to a character, since he's alone and doesn't know what to do next, even with Worldmind helping. With him feeling burnt out, Ryder finally returns to his roots, Earth. What happens when Nova comes home? Will Nova and Iron Man come to blows? Tune in next time to find out. This is Seafarer, and this was Comic Showcase.